Hello everyone, this is a delicious dish for the late summer, but I actually figured out recently I can make it in the dead of winter too because we import our grapes from Chile in my country. Sausages and grapes. Let's get started. Everything you need you see right here. You're starting with 3 pounds. This is about 6 cups of grapes. I like to use different kinds of grapes as long as they are seedless. Give them a good rinse too. Here I've got some green grapes and some red delicious. Here we have some sausages, Italian sausages, 3 pounds of mild and hot, 3 tablespoons of butter, 3 tablespoons of red wine, and 3 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, and some freshly baked bread that I'm baking from scratch because I'm extra. You want to serve this with bread. Anyway, the first step is to parboil the sausages. This just gets rid of any excess fat that the sausages have. And I didn't take physics in high school, so I didn't learn about the law of displacement. So there's too much water in my skillet, but that's okay. If that happens to you, just dump some of it off with a ladle. If there's not enough water, add more. Anyway, boil these for about 8 minutes. And then set your oven to 500 degrees and then drain your sausages and fog up your camera lens. Now we're going to saute the grapes, and this is a roasting pan that I'm going to roast them in, but it is a cheap roasting pan. It's not very heavy duty, so as you can maybe see, it started scorching a little bit. So if this happens to you, don't worry. As long as it's not burnt, just deglaze with 3 tablespoons of red wine and stir. Ideally, you have a nicer roasting pan than I do. Get one that's nice and heavy. Add the drained sausages and push them in. Basically, we're going to be braising these in the oven. So this is already a very easy, I consider this a very easy recipe, but if even this seems like a little too much work for you, if you're like a beginner level cook and you don't really know, you can probably just dump all of the ingredients into the roasting pan and just roast it at 500 degrees for 30 to 40 minutes, stirring in between once or twice, and you'll probably be fine. Lift the extremely heavy roasting pan with one hand while you hold a camera with your other hand and bake it in a 500 degree oven for about half an hour to 40 minutes. And I'm just checking it here in between just to make sure everything's okay and poking it with a spoon. Totally unnecessary, but I did it anyway. This is it, 35 minutes in the oven. The sausages have gotten beautifully brown. The liquid is boiling like crazy because I have it on a burner again, because while this liquid is delicious, it is way too thin. So we're gonna reduce it. And I find this works just a lot better if you remove all of the solids from the liquid. So I'm putting the sausages onto a plate with tongs. And I'm giving this a quick stir just to make sure it's not scorching. And I was paranoid about that roasting pan, so I moved the mixture to a skillet. That was a good call. And I'm removing the grapes with a slotted spoon so that I can reduce this liquid down. And this liquid is delicious. It's sausage and grape juice and wine and butter. And now we are going to add 3 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. This is cheap balsamic vinegar, but by now it's so old that it's pretty much aged balsamic vinegar. Anyway, keep stirring it constantly because this has a lot of sugar in it and it can caramelize and burn on a dime if you're not watching it. So once it gets thick and syrupy like this, spoon it over your delicious sausages and grapes, and honestly, that is it. Very simple recipe. Do not add salt, by the way. You may have noticed I did not add salt. Believe it or not, it does not really need salt. The sausages are seasoned enough. Anyway, that's it. Very easy, but delicious, and I hope you make it.